We have a attention deficit problem in this country. You know, attention deficit, when you and I were growing up, our parents didn't use a drug, they used a belt and whipped our butt, you know, and told us to sit down. Nowadays, we give them Adderall and Ritalin. It's like candy across college campuses.
Anyway, just make them obey. I think that's up to us. Don't be charmed by them. Force them. Spank them like the bad little girls they are. Thank you. And when Dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now. And no, it's not gonna hurt me more than it hurts you. No, it's not. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, you don't have to like the words that come out of the man's mouth, but sometimes in life we all need a good paddling from the principal to set our life on the right track. And this country does need a little bit of that. We need a little paddling. I mean, I was a problem child growing up, and it took a good leadership to set me straight. So I think our country does need some of that. So I hands down believe people wanted it 4 years ago, 3 years ago. So,
but they didn't vote that way, right?
I don't know about that.
You think it was a stolen election?
Without a doubt.
In finalizing divorces from your first and second wives, were there non-disclosure agreements in connection with those divorces?
Senator, not that I'm aware of.
If there were, would you agree to release those first and second wives from any confidentiality agreement?
Senator, it's not something I'm aware of.
But if there were, you would agree to release them from a confidentiality agreement?
Senator, that's not my responsibility.
Did you ever engage in any acts of physical violence against any of your wives?
Senator, absolutely not.
But you would agree with me that if someone had committed physical violence against a spouse, that would be disqualifying to serve as Secretary of Defense, correct?
Senator, absolutely not have I ever done that.
You would agree that that would be a disqualifying offense, would you not?
Senator, you're talking about a hypothetical.
I don't think it's a hypothetical. Violence against spouses occurs every day. And if you as a leader are not capable of saying that physical violence against a spouse should be a disqualifying fact for being secretary of the most powerful nation in the world, you're demonstrating an astonishing lack of judgment. The incident in Monterey led to a criminal charge, a criminal investigation, a private settlement, and a cash payment to the woman who filed the complaint. And there was also a non-disclosure agreement, correct?
It was a confidential settlement agreement off of a nuisance lawsuit.
Right. During an interview, you claimed that you settled the matter because you were worried that if it became public, it might hurt your career. Do you maintain that you were blackmailed?
Senator, I maintain that false claims were made against me. And ultimately,
your attorney
those
used
false
the
claims,
phrase,
I have the opportunity to attest my innocence in those false claims.
And my people told me about 4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the people. I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect the women. Sir, please don't say that. Why? They said, we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. I said, why? I'm president. I want to protect the women of our country. They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say, pay these guys a lot of money. Can you believe it? I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them.
They're a good bunch out here. I'm glad Trump's here at the moment. You know, it's like daddy arrived and he's taking his belt off, you know?
You know, MAGA has a serious beta boy problem. For all the time they spend posturing like they're the big tough alpha dogs, how many of these dudes call Trump daddy? Daddy's back. Daddy's home. Yes, I've been waiting so long for daddy. My daddy's back. Yes, my daddy's home. Because, like, Donald Trump is one of the most insecure, unintelligent, unathletic, unimpressive men that I've ever heard of. He lies every time he opens his mouth and everything he touches fails. And the only reason he was running for president this go round was to stay out of prison. So, you know, all these guys like the entitlement, and that's an old discussion that we don't need to hash out again. But it's like they treat Donald Trump like he's some young, strapping genius, and he's just not. Like, y'all want this 78-year-old man to be king, but he may not even live another 10 years. This dude who, you know, lives off a diet of McDonald's, Diet Coke, and pettiness and narcissism, he might not make it through his second term. These next 4 years, he may not even make it. We may have a President J.D. Vance. Who knows? But I mean, none of this makes any sense for these guys who think they're so tough and so alpha. Talking about spanking this and spanking that, calling him daddy. I mean, you got Byron Donalds calling this dude daddy. It's like, come on, would y'all please give me a break? And the reason, on a more serious note, why the right wing's always, fascinated with corporal punishment is because they can't get people culturally. So when you can't get people culturally because you're so, fixated on the past, oh, well, we're just going to start taking away people's rights and throwing people in prison who don't agree with us because you can't sell it any other way. You can't sell it the democratic way.